the nonsense that I hear coming out of Trump's mouth, I don't talk about him very often, but the nonsense I hear coming out of Trump's mouth is just, it's have you seen that comedian, is it Sarah Cooper, who does the lip syncing of him in those
Oh
little
yeah,
Twitter videos?
it's really good.
When he's talking about
Genius.
if the light on it, and he said, and if this disinfectant, you can the disinfectant kills it in a second, so maybe we can put some disinfectant on the inside, and for that you will need medical doctors. It's how can they how can this man be the most powerful man in the world? It's like last days of Caligula. A horse is
Yeah.
going to be senator next, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's a
I know
scary
it's
time,
amazing,
Nina.
isn't it?
It's a
Yeah.
scary time.
But it's really you're right. I mean, it's we can visibly it's visibly decaying, isn't it? The US visibly is
Visibly,
falling
yeah.
apart.
Yeah,
You know.
I've got friends over there, and um, I'm hoping I'm hoping that there's going to be big change at the end of it, because I mean, it was 2008 I went over there, and that's when I found out just how bad the healthcare problem was over in America, and the fact that they had to pay for healthcare, etc. And then it's not until that was 12 years ago. I mean, we've had the housing crash and all the people thrown out, and obviously all the nonsense for the last 12 years since then. And like you say, it's decaying. I mean, if you have you seen the pictures of LA with the tent cities?
I saw a documentary about Seattle the other day, because that's where they had the autonomous zone.
The Chaz.
Um, and but the terrible homelessness there. I
Yeah,
mean, just dreadful homelessness.
I
And
had
this,
it. Well, sorry, you carry on.
no, I mean, it's so. The last 20 years of neoliberal. This is what the big story is for me with and it is for many people with the pandemic, is the
Yeah,
neoliberalism. It's really exposed how
we could
depraved it is.
so easily have prepared for this, couldn't we? It would have cost about what, million, 2 million quid. We could have really, but
Yeah,
instead of actually preparing for it and safeguarding the nation like they're remitted to do, instead they've tried to sell off everything and make the NHS so inefficient that it gets privatised and sold off to the Americans. And I think the jig is up now, Nina, don't you? I think they've realised, oh crap, we can't sell off the NHS, but you just don't know whether they're just going to push through for it. They do seem to want to sell it to America, don't they?
well, it could still be, one of the things that they want to impress, or one of the things we've still got the NHS. We can still it's still
Why
come and get your
why do
hands
they
on it.
keep hitching their wagon to America? It's a
But
decaying. It's decaying. It's. Let's face it. I keep saying it, and I wish people would stop dancing around this. We're not facing a. It's not a racism problem in America. There is. Don't get me wrong. There is a racism problem in America, but the problem isn't the racism problem. The racism stems from the real problem, and that's the fact that they've got a fascist government. It's fascist. You go down all the ticks of what's the signs of a fascist government? Oh well, a concentration on military supremacy. It's like tick. Okay, and what's the next one? Oh well, you got a combination of of corporate power and government power. It's like, tick. And you just go down them one by line by line. An absolute an overwhelming concentration on nationalism and national pride. It's Jesus Christ. They get up and sing, do the Pledge of Allegiance in school in the morning. And
yeah,
it's you look at how they treat. I mean, the human rights abuses. You could talk endlessly about them. You've researched them. Their human rights abuses are incredible around the world in what they've been doing. And I really wish that people would stop dancing around the issue and stop saying that America's got problems. This that no, America's fascist, and we've hitched our wagon to them. I think maybe the United Kingdom and the people in the United Kingdom should say, and No, no. Well, our granddads, died in World War Two to stop to make sure that we didn't end up under the thumb of fascism, and we've ended up under the thumb of fascism. What? Because we've elected weak people into power, or something like that, or people who are swayed by money or sex or whatever it is. And what the hell? Why are we going along with them? And nobody can say to me, "Oh well, it's because of so and so. It's because they do this." Why are we going along with them again? Why? What do they have on us?
Well, I don't know. I guess because they're so powerful, if we you know uh, roll over and um, do enough tricks, they'll look after us.
No, they
Maybe
won't.
that's the idea
No, they
behind that.
won't. No, they won't. Look at all the deals they've done
Yeah,
around. Look at every deal they've done. Trump has just come and ripped up. Paris Climate Accord, rip it up. IMF treaty, rip it up. Was it medium range nuclear treaty, or rip it up? Every single time. Iran, the JCPOA, rip it up. If there's a country in the world at the moment who's thinking, who I'd like to go into business with. Who's really they always, treat people correctly, and they always treat people fairly. It's America. If there's a country around the world saying that, I'm like, where are you getting this information from? They treat people horrifically around the world, and the second it's to their advantage to cut an ally loose, they will do it and not give you a second's thought.
yeah.
There's a
It
history
is.
of it.
It's like the biggest bully in the playground, isn't it? And you
Yeah.
kind of stick with them maybe for protection, but there's no loyalty there, you know. The moment you annoy them, they're just going to treat you like they treat all their other victims,
I know. And the strange
unless you
thing
can
is the
give them enough
reason.
of your lunch.
Yeah, the only reason we need their protection is because we've been going around punching people in the face with, doing what they're bidding. What we were doing in Syria is a real worry to me, though, Nina, because what we were doing in Syria, it looks like we were perpetrating false flags on behalf of the United States. We were doing them. It looks like we were involved in a false flag on behalf of elements within the United States government. And that's the supreme war crime. And the people who, in our country, who we have given sovereignty to protect us and to keep this country safe, the people who have done that in Syria, they need to go to prison. Because
Yeah,
if they don't go to prison, it's that moral hazard thing again, isn't it? We've incentivized it. They can get away with it, and they're going to do it again. And we're going to continue doing it and continue doing it until we end up like America, with riots and unrest and businesses failing. And, we need to, I think, in this country realise that this is where we're heading if we don't
I agree.
swiftly
Yeah, I think
change course.
if we align closely with the US, which is very possible, under this government. If we look at America, and that we could be looking at ourselves, you know, in the near future.
It's inevitable, I think. And what's worrying is you don't see other countries around the world hitching their wagons to America, do you? The EU are pulling away. Obviously, China or
Yeah.
China, they're going to overtake America probably this year. I would have thought in their economy. They said 2025 not long ago, but I think America's on the verge of a massive Great Depression that might send their economy under China's, and China will become the leading force, the leading economy in the world. It's inevitable now. And my worry is that this failing, whenever there's been a failing empire like that, it's always ended in war in the past. And this is a let's face it, a country with fascists at the head of it that's got nuclear weapons, and it's the only country that's used them in anger in our
Yeah.
history, and we need to remember that.
And it's got plenty of targets. You know, I mean, it's gangster, isn't it?
Well, it
It's
really is,
it
and
really
it,
is
it really
gangster.
is, and it makes you think. If we became a problem in the United Kingdom, say we didn't follow them in, we weren't their lapdog all of a sudden, would they would they point those weapons towards us? I've already heard Trump talk about sanctioning Europe and sanctioning the EU, his allies. What's he going to start sanctioning the UK soon?
This is another worry, isn't it? If we do align closely and we've got a lot of eggs in one basket.
We're alienating the rest of the world. Do we, as a country, do you think it's wise that we hitch our wagon to one failing superpower that is run by elements of fascism at the top, or do we maybe break free and say to the other 99% of the world, oh yeah, we're open for business now. We've had Brexit. It's I just wish that there were adults running this country rather than very weak, very stupid people who think that they know best.
So if they were held to account, things would be a lot different. If they could be prosecuted. So if you waste, like Chris failing, grailing, millions and millions of pounds just wasted. Other countries, you'd be prosecuted. You have to be accountable. Everyone makes mistakes. Making a mistake is a normal human thing. But when you make one massive catastrophic decision after another that results in calamitous, consequences for people, why aren't you held to account?
Yeah, there's got to be they've got to be held to account.